Hello, today we will solve some previous questions of EU set. Okay, so the first question is from optics. Let me read the question. For a wavelength 5893 Armstrong, focal length of zone plate is 60 centimeters. The radius of the first circle is what? So they have given four options. Now a zone plate is like this. Okay, so it has concentric circles. Okay, so it has concentric circles. So the alternate concentric circles are darkened. Okay, so light passes through this bright regions, and whatever the circles where it is darkened, there the light does not pass. So what happens, all these rays coming from this white regions will focus on one point, hence we have focal length. So now in the problem they have given wavelength, they have given lambda is actually 5893 Armstrong, that is going to be 5893 into 10 power minus 8 centimeter. I am going to put it in centimeter because the answers options all are given in centimeter. Then they have given focal length, they have given 60 centimeters. They have asked to find radius for first circle, that is n equal to 1. Okay, so we have Fn equal to Rn square divided by n lambda. Okay, so therefore Rn square is equivalent to Fn n lambda. Okay, so the focal length is going to be 60, n is 1, lambda is 5893 into 10 power minus 8. Okay, so Rn it is going to be square root of 60 into 5893 10 to the power minus 8. So when you do this, then you will actually get 0.59 centimeter. So the correct answer is option B. Okay, next question is from thermodynamics. Okay, so here they have given expansion stage in a Carnot cycles that takes the gas from higher temperature to lower temperature is the process known as isobaric, isoentropic, isothermal, isochoric. Now here they have given expansion stage. Expansion stage means the gas is expanding. Then here the gas reaches from higher temperature to lower temperature. So I need to describe the process, okay, in which there is an expansion of the gas and the temperature moves from higher temperature to lower temperature. Now what is isobaric? In isobaric, pressure it is going to be constant. Isoentropic means it is reversible and adiabatic. Okay, so what is adiabatic? Adiabatic means there is no exchange of heat between the system and the surrounding, that is dq it is going to be 0. Isothermal means T it is going to be constant. Isochoric, volume it is going to be constant. Okay, so now in an Carnot engine we have PV scale. Okay, so this is pressure, this is volume. So okay, so we have source here which is at a higher temperature T1. Okay, this is high temperature. Okay, now we also have sink which is at low temperature T2. This is low temperature. Then we have a stand. Okay, now this source gives heat to the system, sink takes heat from the system. Okay, and T1 is greater than T2. So in the first process what happens, you actually take the system, that is a cylinder in which gas is there. Okay, and you're going to put it on the source. Here what happens, the gas expands. So we have expansion stage, but here it is going to be at T1 temperature itself. So there is going to be an isothermal process. So here expansion of gas is there, but there is a constant temperature. It is isothermal process. There is no change of temperature. So once the gas gets expanded, you actually keep it on the stand. On the stand what happens? It is dq equal to 0. Stand does not give any heat or take heat. Okay, dq is going to be 0. So here what happens, the gas will still expand and it is going to come down from T1 temperature to T2 temperature. Okay, so now this is what we are looking at. So there is expansion of gas, there is also temperature coming from T1 to T2. So both this condition and this condition are satisfied. So this is the process, isoentropic process describes this expansion process, and the higher temperature to lower temperature, the system coming from higher temperature to lower temperature is given by this curve, which is an isoentropic process. So the correct answer is this. Next we have Joule-Thomson coefficient for a perfect gas. Now this is the coefficient given by this formula. So we have, for a perfect gas we have PV equal to RT. Okay, so V is going to be R by T plus by divided by P. Okay, so here P it is going to be constant. Okay, now we are going to differentiate it. I want to find this. Okay, so I'm going to take derivative of volume with respect to time at constant pressure. So then what happens, R by P is going to be constant, so del T by del T it is going to be 1, so I get R by P. So this R by P I'm going to substitute here. So then what happens to the coefficient, I'm going to get Cp into T into R by P minus V. Now here what is RT? RT is going to be PV divided by P minus V. So PP gets cancelled, you're going to get 0. So Joule-Thomson coefficient for a perfect gas is going to be 0. So A is the answer. Next we have x-axis. X-axis of a quartz crystal. So now what is a quartz crystal? Quartz crystal shows piezoelectric property. Piezoelectric property means if you have a crystal like this, okay, so on one phase you're going to put pressure, you're going to put some mechanical pressure, okay, mechanical force. Then what happens, this phase in this direction it starts vibrating. Once it starts vibrating, there is going to be an electric field developing in other direction. Okay, so now there are two things which to be noted. There is first the axis or the direction in which pressure is applied is called as mechanical axis. The direction in which the electric field is developed is called as electric axis. Now here I have this picture from the of the quartz crystal. So this you can get it from Google Images. So you can see here the one which goes from top to bottom is called as optic axis. So optic axis is the direction where O ray and E ray will have the same speed. So now here you can see the down face prism, that is that hexagonal face is written here. So you can see from the angle we have written bisectors from the angle. So you have hexagonal here in this fashion. So from the angle bisectors are written. Okay, so these lines are nothing but X. Okay, X indicates electric axis and Y indicates mechanical axis. Okay, X indicates electric axis and this Z is the optic axis. So in our question they have asked X axis, which is nothing but electric axis. Okay, next we have this. One of the conditions required in order for a sinusoidal oscillation to be sustained is what? Okay, so in an oscillator what happens? You have an amplifier. You have amplifier. Okay, for this an input signal is given. Okay, there is an input signal is given. Then there is an output signal. This will have a gain A. Now what happens in this one? This output is taken and it is given back. Okay, so there is a feedback. Okay, so then what happens? This feedback gain it is going to be beta. So now there is something called as Barkhausen criteria. Okay, so in Barkhausen criteria, this is called as Barkhausen criteria for stable oscillation. So there are altogether two criteria or two conditions for this. First one says the loop gain. Loop gain is A beta. It should be equivalent to 1. So the gain of this amplifier and the feedback gain, product of that should be equivalent to 1. Then there is another called as phase shift. So what is this phase shift? So in a phase shift, what happens here? Here you have an input signal I going, and there is also a feedback signal I going. So both this input signal and feedback signal will have a phase. So what happens here at this position? Both the phases will get added. That is what is called as loop phase shift. Okay. So here what happens? This phase shift has to be 0 or multiples of 360. Okay, multiples of 360 degrees. So these are the two conditions which are called as Burke-Hansen conditions, which actually says that if you want stable oscillations, these two conditions should be satisfied. So now let us come to our question. He says, what is the condition for sinusoidal oscillation to be sustained? He says phase shift is 0, phase shift is pi, phase shift is pi by 2, phase shift is pi by 4. So by Burke-Hansen condition, we know that phase shift have to be 0. Okay. So thank you very much. I hope I have made the concepts clear.